This is a Danger Entertainment podcast. DangerEntertainment.net, Danger Entertainment Network podcasts.
Ed.
Yeah, yes.
So you say Yanderhof like this. Yanderhof.
No. He says Yanderhof like this. Yanderhof.
No. It's like he does it like this. Yanderhof.
No, it's Yanderhof.
No, you got it all wrong.
Yanderhof.
Oh. Yes, I can see the difference now.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Previously on the Danger Club podcast.
It's a good day for a breakfast of arrows.
That's what monkeys do when they're not going to eat people.
Would you? No, that's not conclusive.
If we went down to that farm, they might have horses. Hello there. Come on in here. My name is Johnson.
As you walk in, there's pictures of Uncle Gooden everywhere.
I don't need any of that stuff now. Not stupid crowns that get my friends killed.
I can't let you leave with those horses. Now I can let you leave with me with those horses.
Ed, where is it?
Yanderhof.
The adventure continues now.
Okay, we're rolling.
Rolling.
So guys,
Yes.
Sorry, can we do that again without James singing "Rolling" over the top of it? Let's try that again.
So guys, I was thinking, we've been playing role-playing games for a long time, and I wondered when you thought, this game is awesome in your whole lifetime when you've been playing role-playing games. Is there a moment in your life when you thought this is amazing? Dan?
Yeah. Like the point that you get, like the point that you got hooked.
Yeah, or like a moment when a DM was explaining something and you did something really epic and you thought, that was so awesome. Or like when you were really hooked on either D&D, Pathfinder, any other system when, in your life.
I have one. I have a memory, a solid memory for you. It's when we were playing in our first campaign together, and we were fighting. We were like protecting a castle, and there was a dragon coming for us. And our friend Jerry, who he's not actually with us anymore.
Big up, Jerry.
He doesn't play D&D with us anymore. Is what I mean.
Yeah, he's not dead.
He's not dead.
Stuck on M25.
But he was playing like a magician sort of gnome character called Truffle, and
Benjamin Stovepipe Truffle.
That's the one, Benjamin.
I didn't forget Jerry. I think about him every day, Jerry.
Never forget.
Big up, Jerry.
And he did he embiggen himself and fly through the air?
It's a clear memory for Drum. This is a solid one.
All right, it's a clear memory. I'm a terrible...
No, you're right. He did.
Do you remember it?
Dan will be able to paint this better, but he did. Yeah, there was a siege. We were involved. We were doing all kinds of things to stop the siege happening, and one of Jerry's tactics was to use Tensor's flying disc. He used Tensor's flying disc. He flew around on it, and then he enlarged other people who were also flying around to make them fall off their various flying things. We found out very swiftly after that he couldn't use Tensor's flying disc to that extent. So that's actually a great example and interesting straight away about how one of your clearest and best memories was when the DM allowed us to go a little bit outside the rules for the rule of cool.
Yeah. It made for an like, you know what I mean. The heroicness of what was going on was badass basically, and we took down the dragon and we protected the place, and I was like, oh my god,
it was quite great how there was the mismatch between player expectations and reality. I think he imagined he was like the Silver Surfer, sort of scooting around on this disc at super speed, and then we worked out it goes at walking speed and hovers. So actually, all of
and
that
can't
stuff
move under its own power.
Yeah,
the fact that you interpreted that moment as me giving artistic license to you and letting you do cool things rather than me not quite knowing the rules of D&D at that point in our careers, it is hugely touching. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Danger Club podcast. Let's get some elevator music in while we carry on this conversation.
Right, why not?
So Dan,
hang on. Let's let Scott say something. Scott's been very politely trying to say something for 5 minutes.
I was going around the table.
Oh, very organised.
Aggressive game show host Ross. You say something now. I always wanted to be in them. So from a very young age, imagining it and then getting to character creation in the first campaign, that actually loads of cool stuff has happened to me and my characters throughout the years. But that was the first moment, Ross. In answer to your question, that was the first moment. Is actually putting a character together and being like, wow, this guy could do stuff. that I can't. That's cool.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think my first one was probably, I was 11 in the last year of primary school, and our teacher just ran a little sort of RPG with us, and it was a space-based one. And I think I might have mentioned him before, but he was this little dude. He was like a tiny little mud man, but he could mimic other things, but it was really slow, so it took him like 4 turns to make other things. But my 11-year-old self thought it was the coolest flipping thing. Like, same as Scott, it was like, oh my god, yeah, I'm gonna turn into loads of stuff and like jump out of people. It never worked out that way, because by the time I changed into something, the battle was over. It was done, everyone moved on. But it was really cool. That was the first time I was like, we only played for a bit, but I was like, this is so cool.
Do you know what mine was? Do you know what my favourite moment was?
I know what you're going to say.
The day I killed MZ.
I knew it was going to say that! I knew you were going to say that!
Oh man, it has been killing me, this thing, because we recorded a little way in advance, and we've done a few of these back. So we have all been sitting on this knowledge and not being able to tell our loved ones, not being able to tell the people close to us, this terrible thing that is about to come up in our show. And it is, I go out, I get my paper in the morning, I see my neighbor, he's like, oh hey, what's going on in the Danger Club podcast? How's MZ? He's my favorite character. And I have to say, oh, I'm really sorry. I don't speak to my neighbor.
You live in a block of flats?
I live in a block of flats.
You live in America?
I do. I live in
I go outside to get my paper, which is on my lawn. My paper boy's thrown it. That doesn't happen in the UK.
I live in the tutorial bit of Fallout from That's 1950s America. So we are on the road to Yanderhof with
which sounds like a country album, doesn't it? Let's be honest.
Yanderhof.
Yeah, on the road to Yanderhof
with the irrepressible Ed Johnson.
Yeah, big up Ed Johnson.
I think Ed Johnson is already one of the favourite characters of this show for his short appearance. So you're heading there on your horses with M's body. I was going to say in tow, but that makes it sound like you're dragging it on the ground.
Dragging M by the toes.
Yeah. It's what he would have wanted.
It's just M's body inside a toe. That's what it is. Just one giant toe.
My favourite part so far is of this gradually sort of, are we letting go, are we not, is the fact that you've been through some of his pockets, but not all of them. Like you've opened up his bag, taken some stuff, but like there's a degree of stuff where you're like, no, we're not quite ready to rob this corpse blind yet.
Well, it turns out, I think we're just surprised that he just had a bag of arrows, pretty much, didn't he? I mean, it was just a sack of arrows.
So
in his bag.
many arrows.
Just had arrows, like
it's
every orifice. Like,
yes, it's extraordinary. So many arrows.
Just got to ask, Colin, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel good, man. Like, yeah. It's been a long time since it happened, so I've forgotten about it, really. I turned up today and went, oh shit, yeah, right. Wearing my MZ t-shirt and everything. Like,
yeah, we're going to need to burn that t-shirt.
That's being burned, yeah. I'm going home, like, with no t-shirt on.
You need to get, like, a memorial, like, 2-pack t-shirt, but MZ, that kind of...
like, in a prey position. Yeah.
So... let's pick up on the road to Yanderhof. You're about 2 days' ride from there, so it means you're going to have to camp out on the road at one point on it. Ed Johnson has very kindly, after you almost robbing him,
and nearly escaped from him.
What a nice guy.
Did that. What
you left him some coins on the table to pay for the horses, but
and then forgot that we left his M's body in one of the rooms to try and sneak out.
And in no way was that payment for the horses either.
No,
it was a fiver.
It was like stealing a car and leaving a tenner on the table and being like, there we go, that'll cover it. But you've managed to somehow befriend him. But how are we feeling? Do we trust Ed Johnson? Do we like Ed Johnson?
He's a bit creepy.
Yeah, and he also likes Uncle Bugden as well, which is...
he's a big fan.
He doesn't love... He loves Uncle Bugden.
I mean, most people like Uncle Bugden, don't they? But most people are fooled by like, no one knows. No one knows the truth. We're the only ones that know.
I think just for any Brits and stuff like that, and possibly people sat around the table, if anyone's been watching Years and Years lately, can get that feeling of liking someone who is meant to be doing something and you find out they're not. I'm going to leave it like that, because in case none of you have seen the TV show.
Definitely haven't.
None of us have seen
It's a good show, isn't it? A real good show.
I've seen it mentioned a bit on social media, so it is on the massive list of things to watch.
Very Uncle Good.
I feel like you've both not explained that show and also spoiled it at the same time.
Yes. I feel that my spoiler alert just tinged. So yeah.
Good show, worth watching.
Very yeah.
Not now.
Not anymore. Yeah.
All right, let's pause it right here.
Let's
We're going to go watch some Emma
James
Thompson.
does take 3 years to watch anything that comes out.
True.
To be fair. So he's still yet to watch Endgame, to be fair.
True fact. Right. I'm going to...
It's not a true fact at all.
I jumped in with the true fact before the Endgame fact.
Yeah.
James has seen Endgame.
I did.
Seen anything?
He hasn't seen any others.
He just watched it on YouTube.
He didn't understand it.
I haven't watched any Marvel films at all. Well, actually, to be fair, a big shout out to my partner, my girlfriend, who did go and see it with me and hadn't seen a single Marvel film up until that point.
Wow.
And the thing is, by Endgame, nobody said even who their names were, so she had no idea who anyone was. And it was 3 hours long, and she has a very short attention span. So thank you, Amy. That was a real act of love.
Was it like a who's that?
No, she just sat there quietly watching the whole film and didn't understand a fripping tiny bit of it.
Did you just say fripping?
Fripping.
Can you understand frippery?
Yes.
Fripping.
I'm just
fripping. I'm just trying to not to swear too much. Yeah,
fun Marvel fact before we dive into this
Fripping
story.
else, Scott.
At no point in the movies is Hawkeye ever referred to as Hawkeye.
He calls somebody else Hawkeye.
He calls his daughter Hawkeye, but he is always referred to as Clint. It's never said that is his name. Let's have an adventure.
Because he's not worthy of a name.
So, we're riding to Yanderhof. I'm going to describe the scene that you're going through. But first of all, because it's a new day, yes, it is.
Roll initiative.
No, I would like Shania and Fulton to both make a fortitude save for me,
I knew
please.
you were looking at me, and I was like, "Oh, is he going to say something?"
I've got it in capital letters. But I had to remind you to do this today. This is gonna be
fortitude. What kind of tude? It's the fortitude. The tude before.
Here comes the tetanus.
Fuck.
9.
A 9 for Fulton.
And an 8.
An 8 for Shania. I thought this was going to take much longer to get started. So, you wake up, both of you, the next morning. So we're sort of jumping back a little bit into last episode, but you wake up ready to go. Both of you feel awful. You're shaking. You've got a kind of cold sweat going on. And worse, all of your limbs feel really stiff. Your jaw feels kind of stiff. It's quite difficult to speak. We'll find out. First of all, Fulton, you take 1 point of dexterity damage.
Oh dear.
And that's just minusing off my total
minus of your total. Shania, you take 4 points of dexterity damage.
Oh, lordy.
Motherfucker.
What's 12 make it now? Is that still +1?
Yep.
Cool.
So just to remind the listeners, 'cause I don't think we've had this for quite a long time, direct stat damage is bad news. That means you get minuses to all sorts of stuff. And if you run out, you're dead.
Dexterity does not kill you outright if you get to 0. Constitution will kill you if you get to 0. However, if you get to 0 dexterity, you can no longer move. You're effectively paralyzed.
Yeah.
Get your fripping facts right, James.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Goddamn fireplace.
So on a...
You've been sitting there waiting to say that, like.
Yeah, he's been sat there. I could see it in his face. He's just like, I'm going to say it.
Stacking them up.
And also, I mean, because that takes
your armor class down.
My armor class down as well.
Yep. Something else fun happens as well, possibly. Ross, can you roll me any dice on an odds something good will happen, or an even something bad will happen?
I'm going to roll a D4.
A D4.
It's a 1.
It's a 1. All right, and Shania, could you do the same for me, please?
What?
So any dice on an even, something good happens. On an odd, something bad happens.
Okay.
You get struck by lightning.
Go for a classic 6.
It's a mini junk gunner that bursts out your chest.
It's a 6.
Okay, it's a 6. It's an even for Shania. So Shania, you are all right. You just, you feel awful.
Yeah.
Fulton,
are all hard.
Fulton, your jaw muscles have stiffened so much during the night that you are unable to speak.
Yes!
Great radio for 24 hours. You can kind of mumble, wave your hands.
I'll just leave.
Yeah, if you would. Yeah.
Me and you
Take
just
a
go and get a beer.
Yeah.
But both of you feel bad, and it feels like the whatever it is you've contracted So this is the disease that you've contracted in a previous episode is starting to take hold of you now that its incubation period is up. So you are starting to feel pretty bad now.
Can you remind us what it was that bit us?
This is
it's from the
you're not 100%
from
sure.
The
golem. A heal check would be able to diagnose what is wrong with the two of you.
Okay.
I think it was from the junkyard golem.
Mm-hmm. Would anyone like to go ahead and make a heal check to work out what is wrong with these two people? Go ahead, Dr. Shania.
The junk golem that killed a member of our party was immune to most types of damage resistance, and now, even though it's dead, has retroactively damaging our players.
Love this monster. It occurred to me, one of the abilities that junk golem had was that it could turn into a swarm, so it could turn into a sort of whirlwind of tiny junk pieces, which it did during the fight, which made it much harder to hurt, but it meant it did less damage and it didn't do critical hits and things like that, but it was still more annoying. And I did that for a couple of rounds. And then you guys were complaining so much about how annoying it was as a swarm that I was like, fine, I'll turn it back into itself, then maybe you'll be able to kill it. And upon which it criticaled M and killed him. So in a lot of ways, M's death is on you.
Wow. I mean, you spent a long time lying in bed late at night trying to work out how it's our fault. I mean,
just painting that ivory tower.
What you got on your heal check?
Shania got 18 on a heal check.
An 18 on a heal check. That is very good. Yes, you examine the injuries that you and Fulton received from the junk golem, and you can see that they are infected, and it looks like from the symptoms that you have, you think the two of you have contracted tetanus.
Okay.
Oh my god!
So
my little prank about I've been saying tetanus since the beginning. It really was tetanus.
Yeah. You both have tetanus, so you are going to be continuing to take dexterity damage every day.
Through my heal check, I would probably know what to do to make it better.
So there's a couple of things you can do. You can rest. You can do some. At the start of the day, you can try and treat the injury. Now that you know what it is, you can make a treat disease check. So that is a. So you basically make a roll using your heal check. If your check exceeds the DC of the disease, so you make which is a DC 12. So you've got DC 12 heal check. If you make that, the person then gets a +4 on their next save, so that you can give them a bonus to it.
Okay.
You have to make 2 consecutive saves to be rid of the disease completely.
Okay.
The other alternative is that if you find the thing that will help you with that is if you can find a cleric who can cast Cure Disease as a spell or sell you a scroll of it or a potion, which you can buy probably in a major city, that will give you another bonus on top of that for the next one.
Okay. Does the heal check that I just did count as because, obviously I'm checking us over and I go, oh, this is what we've got. Surely right then and there I'd be doing the...
You will, but you've already taken the damage for it. You've already made the save for today. So now you know what it is. Tomorrow you can make a new heal check to try and help you and Fulton to have a chance of succeeding in your save.
You make 2 saves. Does that mean the dexterity goes back up, or do you still have to heal?
The dexterity will heal at a rate of 1 per day.
Okay, so you'd make 2 successes over 2 days, and then you'd have to take another however long to get your dexterity back up.
Then you'll need to rest for a while to get your dexterity back up. However, the lockjaw effect, that is a 50-50 chance every day. So
good.
You might be all right tomorrow. Or Shania might not be all right tomorrow and be unable to cast spells. We will find out. If any of you would like to sort of stab Velda in the night and just rub some of that rust into the wound to try and pass it around, I'm sure our listeners would be happy.
Those 2 dexterity saves, do they have to be made over 2 individual days?
They have to be, they're across 2 days and they need to be consecutive. So if you pass a save one day and then fail the next day, you go back to needing 2 saves.
So you're, so you could roll another 4 damage on Dex twice and die.
No, you don't die.
You don't die, but you become useless.
You become,
you die to us.
Leave them by the side of the road.
We got real problems. We're already carting one effective dead body, so then 2 people we're just dragging behind the horses.
I should say the remove disease spell is a single roll, so you don't have to make 2 saves on that. So if someone casts remove disease on you, you get 1 saving throw with all the bonuses for that. If you make that saving throw, you're completely cured.
Yay!
So that is a quick way to do that. But you don't have access to that right now on the road, because right now you are riding through the rain.
And how long have we got until we reach Yanderhof?
So you've got 2 days. So this is on the day 1. As you make your way through. So the lowlands that you've been riding through in Low Varutia, over the course of the day, the lowlands start to give way to sort of rock and scrubland as you start to enter the foothills of the Mindspin Mountains. The rain doesn't let up at all during the day, and even though you manage to get a little bit dry during your time at Ed Johnson's, you are completely soaked again by mid-afternoon. By the time you get to the evening, you are now riding down a gully within the mountains themselves. There is a mountain stream running next to you, but it is it's starting to overflow from the amount of rain, and bits of it are, in places, it's beginning to burst the banks and start to wash over the path, and you're having to ride through shallow water on the side of it. The sun is just beginning to dip below the top of the mountains now. You reckon, reach Yanderhof tomorrow, but given that you're in the mountains now, there's not going to be a lot of moonlight, so it is going to be very hard and very dangerous to ride next to the river during the night time. So it looks like you are going to need to start thinking about finding a place to stop. What would you all like to do?
How are you feeling there? You wish for me to try to treat you some?
I mean, I think it's better.
Yeah, it's certainly like an improvement.
Yes, I get it. Look, any of you survival chaps want to find a good place to camp? It's getting rather dark.
Survival chaps?
Yes, you're good at living in the bushes and
I know a little bit about nature, but I'm feeling a little bit off my game at the moment.
Yes, maybe. What about you, Caragor? You're any good at that?
I'll have a go.
Right. Everyone like they're the staff. I love it.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead and give us a survival check, Caragor, to find a place to camp.
16.
Cool. With that, you work out that it would be a bad idea to camp down here near the river. This river is ready to burst, and there could be a flash flood at any point. However, with a bit of scouting, you find that the road forks up ahead. The road to Yanderhof carries on, but there's another road that goes up the side of the hill, and you can see a little way up there is a cave. However, within the cave you can see that there is light coming from it, so it looks like that cave is already occupied.
Side quest.
That is what you find while you are there.
I see you, cave. I see you. Port in a storm. I see a cave. There's a cave up there.
Oh, yes.
It's got lights on.
Oh, there's lights.
Fulton. Just stop. Is it painful to talk? Then stop it. Stop doing it then.
Even Lockjaw can't make him talk less.
We could gag him as well.
I mean, I think he's struggling to open his teeth.
Open his teeth?
You know, like
don't become a doctor, will you?
No, I'm not a doctor at all. I don't want to go anywhere near his mouth.
It's called a jaw.
Yeah.
I think you can open.
Yeah, thank you. It's his jaw. Yes.
Fulton throws up. Some sick just falls down the stairs.
Oh my god!
No,
try not to choke on that.
Yeah, that was a choice, lads. That was a choice.
I mean, I think attention getting again. Yeah. Nobody's impressed, Fulton.
Let's get him a cave. Let's get in the cave.
That's just all of the elven bread and potions he's been drinking in Kermarga coming back out.
With foot cheese and pocket meat mixed in there as well. Yeah.
I'd say we're about a day's ride from Yanderhof. We should probably sorry, let me say that again. We're about a day's ride from Yanderhof. So we should probably camp.
Oh, I heard you that time, yeah.
Yes, it's all right. Like I said about that cave, we're going to go in that cave.
Go and investigate.
Sorry, I was over there. I didn't hear what you said. I was over there. I didn't hear what you said.
No, that's helpful that you pointed.
I know. So for the listeners at home, I pointed over there.
What does
Hey, Fulton. Fulton. You reckon with all that food that you need to throw up, do you reckon you've now got dialogue BTs? Grim optimism. Still nailing it.
I mean,
right, let's go to this cave.
That's not grim optimism. That's fishing of the worst sort.
This is a question for Colin or Dan. Does Ed Johnson have any clear weapons on it?
Yes.
What does he have?
He has a dagger and he has a crossbow. Let me just check which.
Lloyd Grossman.
I thought you were going to have like a gun, like a little rifle.
Well, he was a gunslinger.
Yeah,
it would be sick if he was, but I don't know if Dan would let me have that now. I've got a master at light crossbow.
Nice.
So we head to the cave.
I think we all head to the cave. Yeah.
You make your way up the bar towards the cave, and you can see that the light is coming from a campfire that is burning just within the entranceway of it. As you approach, you can smell the smell of cooking venison. It is very different once you get up to the cave. It is a complete transformation from the outside world. There's a fire burning in the entranceway. You can smell the venison cooking on a spit. There's been racks set up around the fire where there are clothes drying out, sodden travelling clothes. There's a sheet that's been strung up across most of the cave entrance to stop most of the smoke from blowing back into it. A little further into the cave, you can see a horse and 2 ponies feeding on some hay. There are some bedrolls laid out, and at the back of the cave there is a tall covered wagon. Around the fire at the front sit 3 individuals. There is a half-elf whose hair is still wet. His orange hair, it's still wet from the rain. Half of his head is shaved. The other hair is long. He has several days of beard growth. And there are 2 dwarves who look completely identical, except that one is wearing an eye patch and has a scar across his face. They're wearing leather armor. All of them have weapons around them. As you start walking on your horses up the road, they all kind of put their hands to their weapons. The half-elf eyes you suspiciously.
Oh there, friend. We mean no harm. We're just looking for a campfire to share for the night. We have goods to trade and offer you.
Do we?
You bandits?
What?
You bandits?
No, we've killed a few though.
He looks you up and down and says, you heavily armed?
Aye.
Yes.
That's not a question. I can see you're heavily armed. But you can see we're armed as well. If all you want is to join us at the fire, then join us at the fire. But I want you to know, if you think that you can take us, we can surely take one of you before you can take us.
That's fair, friend. We intend no killing tonight. We're wet, sodden, ill. We'd just like to rest our bones about the fire and get gone the next day, if that's all right with you.
All right, you best come in. He stands and pulls the tent aside enough for you to be able to lead the horses in and hitch them up. And it is nice to finally be out of the rain once you've kind of hauled off some of your travelling cloaks and rejoin them. Do you want to go and join them by the fireside?
Yeah, Caragor goes over to the half-elf and introduces himself.
Okay. He says, my name's Hatu. Hatu pronouns, at your service.
Hatu pronouns.
Hatu pronouns.
I'm just making Dan say it a few more times. Well,
these here are my associates. This is Ryman and Jessup. They're called the High Street Boys.
I go over to Ryman's and Jessup's. And
Jessup.
Yeah, Jessup's. I go down and sit next to Fulton sits next to them. Hey!
Hey! Hey!
Hey!
Hey!
Hey!
Hey!
God, Dwarven is such a beautiful and archaic language.
They're not speaking Dwarven.
Shania trundles over and says, excuse me, kind people of the fire. My friend and I, we are...
People of the fire! That's another album by a different band.
Yeah.
My friend and I, we are unfortunately struck down by the tetanus. We wonder if you have anything on you that might help we can trade for.
You want healing spells, healing magic. You not bring a priest with you?
Perhaps not the healing spells so much as I don't know, perhaps a spell of whatever the fuck it was.
Well, I mean, if you've got a scroll of cure disease or something like that, then
something like this. You have anything like this?
We're not that well supplied, I'm afraid.
Oh,
okay.
It does seem you lots have stopped here. It does seem you lot are pretty stationary.
That's that is
keen eye for detail. That's Mark's use out Caragor, doesn't it?
Pretty stationary.
rhyming glares at you.
Oh, fate.
I see. Yes. What sort of things do you trade in? I'm presuming you're traders and merchants.
Aye, says the half-host. I'm in the labour market.
I'm not sure what that is.
We've got some transporting merchandise to Caermarga for sale.
Oh, you're heading to Caermarga?
Oh,
That's right.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in the cave?
There's there's their bedding,
Yeah.
which, a little bit, which now has sort of your beds around it as well, and then at the back is a sort of tall covered wagon, like a kind of like a sort of Western Trail kind of thing,
Is
covered
it?
up with a sheet now.
Oh, I know. It's going to be slaves.
Yes,
isn't
I was
it?
going to say. Well, when you say labour, what do you mean labour? I don't really understand.
Sleeves.
Oh.
Well, there you go. Good. Okay, I'm going to go for a little rest now. I'm feeling quite tired. Thanks for your company.
Caragor looks at Ed Johnson just to get the reaction that Ed Johnson gives.
What kind of reaction?
What
is
are you
that?
doing with those slaves?
These are the ones we have at the moment. It's they're Shovanti, like a lot of the ones we get here. They're tribes from the steppe. They war among each other. They enslave each other. They sell the slaves off. These ones are going to Caermarga. They'll end up in the fighting pits probably.
Caragor grits his teeth.
I look at Caragor.
Caragor shakes his head.
What about
it's time for
Just that we all take a rest. Shall we all have a rest, yeah? That's what we came here for, yeah? Okay, let's have a rest.
I think that's a good, and then Caragor looks at Velda, that's a good message, isn't it, Shania? It's a good message.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about all of you then? What's your business out here? He looks. You can see that he's kind of looking over at the wrapped up body of M that is lying near your stuff.
Well, I'm showing these folks how to get to Yanderhof, and I'm borrowing their horses. Well, they're borrowing my horses.
Yeah, there are houses.
I have some questions for y'all, but I want to think about it for a while.
Very well.
Good. Yes.
We've got a very, very, very ill friend. We're going to Yanderhof to try and make them better.
Looks like you have a few. Looks like you got a few ill friends.
Yeah. We have been struck down. It's been terrible times.
Certainly been in the wars.
Well, I hope you get a better reception there than we do. I don't much like our kind around there. But
When you say your kind.
they're not in the business.
Right.
Not illegal in Yanderhof. We have to go around it. Makes it hard to resupply. But, I imagine you'll have the pleasure of their welcoming as well. They're not overly fond of orcs over there.
Oh, that's fine. I'm a Horrok, mate.
Well, I'm sure you'll be fine then.
Sure I will.
I've not heard of them. Are you rare?
Yeah, I'm well rare, me. Special, unique.
He's certainly very special, yes.
Hey.
What's that, dwarf?
I think he said we are Groot.
Fulton points at the cart.
The dwarves both kind of, the two dwarf brothers kind of look at you. and narrow their eyes slightly. What is this? Don't worry about the cat. Nothing you need to be worrying about, boy.
Hey.
What's in the cart?
Well,
just our merchandise.
Slaves.
Thought that's pretty obvious. Ed.
Yes, and he did say it was carrying slaves.
Anyway, we're going to go to this side of the campfire right now and have a little meal and wipe the puke from my friend's beard.
Yes, you can do that. I'm going to have some rations, I think.
All right, well, sleep well. If we're gone in the morning, then safe travels to you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You too.
It's quite secure up here. Are you taking watch, or shall we help with the watch?
We'll do our own.
Fair.
You head back to your bedrolls and settle down.
There are three of them, right?
There are three of them. They're staying by the fire for the moment. They're still cooking. Still eating.
Excuse me, I don't know you very well. This is out of earshot of them, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
I don't know you people well. I'm not a fan of what they're doing.
Fulton does kind of like gestures with his hands that he agrees with Ed.
Okay.
As well.
Are you going to make him roll a bluff check to the sense move? Caragor's eye dancing.
I think you can. I think you can nod. As much as Fulton can mess up. I'm not going to subject that to Ross's dice rolling.
Yeah, thanks.
Ed.
I mean, the trouble is, I don't like it as much as anyone else, but the fact is it is legal in large swathes of our world, and I don't think getting involved in something else is particularly advisable at the moment. We've got Kermarga and everyone else looking for us.
Oh, no,
I hope this isn't a prelude to wanting to do something about it.
Well, of course, yeah. That's why I asked if they were taking watch so we could murder them in their sleep.
Well, I don't think that's wise.
I gesture and
as possible.
Like a gesture towards Caragor and like nod, and then shake my head at James.
Just at James. Frippin' James.
Wow, you've got lockjaw, not amnesia.
At Velda.
Okay.
But remember we've got pretty much the entire Kermarga after us, and adding this.
And also to boot, I foolishly introduced myself before I knew exactly where they're going. They're about to head to Kermarga and give us away.
But they won't mention a random group of strangers they met days and days ago.
I mean, they will if we
This
met
is quite likely, and they know where we're going, and they know quite a lot.
Is that us now?
I think this is.
Do we just murder people on the road?
What, we murder slavers? I've done it all my young teenage life. Yeah,
right.
That's what I do.
I
happen to agree with the Horrick over here.
I don't have a real moral problem with slitting the throats, particularly.
All right, so how are we going to do this?
Present him a black and white moral situation.
Let's talk to the DM right now.
You can't because the DM's pissing himself.
Yeah.
It's just the most Velda moment.
Yeah, right.
Is that who we are now?
This is in terms of our character, like it is just cold-blooded murder is what you're proposing. And I know we've done some
they're
crazy
slavers.
shit.
We're ridding the world of slavery.
I know, but slavery in this world is legal in loads of countries. Like it's not nice, but it is. Rather than like obviously if we were in our world, in a modern world, slavery is a horrible and horrible thing. But for this, it just seems like.
Nah, slavery.
Slavery, man.
Yeah, it's pretty black and white. In fact, most fantasy fiction depicts it as pretty bad, no matter where you are. Also, you might have heard a brief pause there. That was the ding of Velda's alignment shifting finally to.
Well, not really, because you are proposing murder.
It's not slavery if they're already dead.
But I mean, it's one of those. It is. Obviously,
we can fight them. We can fight them directly on if you want to challenge them to an honourable duel.
Caragor's definitely up for that as well.
I mean, like, two of us aren't at our best.
Yeah,
it'd be way better if they were asleep and we just went.
I mean, one of them's going to wake up.
One of them's going to be awake.
We'll have to fight one of them.
Yeah, we'll have to fight one of them.
Should we wait until the main half elf is asleep?
Want to do the dwarves?
Yeah.
I think it will go on watches when I imagine now that we've turned up, they might take 2 watches.
Yeah.
Which we will have to match.
Who's on, so say down we're bedding down now.
Yep.
Who's on watch now? Is there anyone, have they gone to sleep yet? Or
you can wait a little while. You can all kind of lie down and sort of pretend to be sleeping, except whichever one of you is on watch, but try and stay awake. And after a while, one of the dwarves and the half-elf both come and bed down a little way away from you. The other dwarf comes and sits near them, and kind of he pulls back the curtain from the fire, and he's staying near the fire, and he looks like he's trying to keep an eye out, but he's mostly keeping an eye on all of you.
It's really hard. I can't speak.
Well, that's why I was doing the hinting about the messaging.
And then I was going to, and then everyone just started talking about it anyway. So I was like,
so now they're in.
I'll just message my way to the
So now they're in earshot, right?
He's certainly going to be. He's listening into you. So if you start talking amongst yourselves, he's going to start getting perception checks to try and overhear what you're saying.
So we decided we're going to do something about it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Why not? So the question is, what if I can? Is there a way? This little cave. Is there a way that I can go off into the darkness and still have eyes on the people in this cave?
Yeah, you can kind of. You can certainly wait until he's looking the other way and then sort of crawl off into the back of the cave, into the shadows. If you want to make a stealth check, you can do that.
Back into the cave.
Well, yeah, further into the cave to get. I mean, it doesn't go very far. No, it's not like a cave network, so you can kind of.
Dan's just there is another rust junk golem inside the.
I'm back, coming for the rest of you.
I feel like
have to roll it. Sorry,
me and Ross should take a rest. Should bed down first and try and. Take a rest and try our stuff when we wake up. Whenever it is we wake up, if we can have a bit of rest before it happens, there's a chance that we might.
That'll be a full 8 hours, and they'll also be fully awake. At the time.
I don't think we'll be able to do it straight away.
You can rest for the night if you want, but yeah.
Fulton is going to walk towards the entrance of the cave, past the guy.
Okay.
That's what Fulton's going to do.
Ed's kind of, as he's rolling out his bedroll, just sort of takes off his crossbow and just puts it beside him and just eyes. Who's he going to eye? He's going to eye Caragor because I think they were having a conversation about it.
Okay.
And just kind of give her an eyebrow as if to say, crossbow's ready. Do you know what I mean?
Caragor, in the eating of his meal that night, drinks the barkskin potion.
Okay.
And he does it in a way that he displays the label to at least 2 members of the Danger Club by the firelight.
Sure. So they know you've drunk it.
So that's it.
Cool.
And then I would like to. Can I do it stealthily? The movement I was talking about before into the cave.
Yeah, you go ahead and make a stealth check. Like I say, he's just one guy, so all you need to do is wait for a bit for him to look back out, and then look back. He may wonder where you've gone because he could see you all a minute ago, but you can certainly get out of his eye line.
Hopefully, I think I've gone for a piss. It's a good roll.
Yeah.
23.
23. Okay. You wait till he's looking out across the ravine, and then you disappear. You go back towards where the wagon is and kind of crouch down next to one of its wheels. He looks back and he can't see you. So Fulton, you start walking towards the entrance to the cave where the dwarf is sat and where the people are lying down. The dwarf nods to you as you go forward.
I point towards the entrance of the cave and just go.
He steps back and pulls the thing aside and ushers.
I don't want to go too far. I just want to go behind. Where's the? I just want to go behind the sort of sheet.
So you're sort of out of sight.
I'm in the. I'll hold as he pulls back the curtain. I take it from his hand.
Okay.
And just hold it, and then start sort of just standing there, like I'm getting some fresh air from that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's fine. He kind of shrugs and moves away from you a little bit.
Cool.
And then you can see him kind of looking at where the others are lying down and frowning a little bit. As he sort of looks at everyone down, and you can see him he's trying to count how many of you are lying down there.
Mechanically, just out of character, we're going to have to go in as one. So know what you're going to do before this happens.
It's not laying down; he's sitting.
It's just sitting there. Okay.
Caragor mechanically from the darkness has knocked an arrow to the bow.
Okay.
So Velda messages Caragor and says, "Look, I know what you're doing. I hate slavery. I hate the idea of slavery. But I I'm not a murderer, and we didn't. These people advised us to sit by their fire, and you're going to kill them for it, and I'm not going to take part. And leaves it that.
Okay. Does Caragor reply?
Slavery, and it is awful, but murder's murder, and that's not something Felder feels really
No,
uncomfortable
if that's how Velda feels. What does Caragor reply?
Caragor does reply.
Okay.
By shooting the dwarf in the back of the neck.
Oh,
Okay. Right. So, surprise round. It is just going to be Caragor can act, and I'm going to say Fulton can act as well, because you are prepared. Everyone else was kind of not quite ready. You know something's going to happen, but it's enough to say it's in initiative rounds. So, Caragor, go ahead and make your shot first.
Caragor.
Do I get?
So
many things.
he's flat-footed, so it will
Sneak
count
attack.
as sneak attack, and I believe he is studied. Or did you study him?
Yeah, I've been there for
Cool.
a while now.
Been there a while. That's fine.
That total attack bonus is 16.
16 hits. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Cracking. Okay. 14 damage.
14 damage.
Nice.
Doesn't kill him. The arrow hits him. Fulton, what would you like to do?
I'm going to turn around and swing my great axe.
Okay, go ahead.
Pretty good. That's 22.
22 hits. Roll your damage.
That is a 8.
An 8. So the arrow hits him in the chest. He staggers backwards, and then Fulton buries the axe in the back.
7.
7. It's still enough.
Okay,
buries
good.
the
I
axe
didn't
in
wanna
his
cheat.
back, and he just kind of shudders. And blood pours and everything, and he drops to his knees and falls on the floor. You killed him outright. He doesn't make a noise.
Nice.
Are we going to do this? Run over to coup de
We
grace?
don't even need to run.
Okay.
We can just all get together. But thing is, in order to know that we're going to do that, we need to tell each other. The only person who can tell us is Velda, and he just backed out of everything. So
Okay.
They get
I mean, I can see that. What
you can see that's happened. Yeah.
Right, so at which point, I get up and arm myself, so I'm ready.
Okay. They do get a perception check to try and wake up as you approach them. It is at a -10 because they are asleep.
Okay.
But they do get at that, so consider whether you might want to move up quietly if you want to do this.
Yeah, Ed stood up and...
Okay.
I'm on a -6 on stealth, so...
do I have eyes on them still when they're sleeping?
Yes, you do.
Can I coup de grace?
You can only coup de grace at range if you are standing right next. You literally have to put the arrow and just shoot it.
He remember how many times we did this in the other campaign.
What are we going to do? Are we going to stealth over
We
or
need to
just
finish
walk?
at least one and more of them off.
Yeah.
If one's alive, no bad thing. I mean, it's probably going to be more awkward for us if one's alive because we're probably going to kill them all anyway. So
Yeah.
I think let's finish it. What do
So
you guys
just
think?
walk over?
I mean, I'm going to go stealthily.
I can't, so shall I just walk over? I'll just walk over.
Okay.
Felder
Okay.
looks and
Stealthy.
just sort of. I presume you sort of look at me expectantly, and I just shake my
No,
head.
none
and
of us
carry
have
on.
looked. None of us have looked at you expectantly.
well, no, but you were the only person who knows I'm
that's
going to get
okay.
involved.
Right,
just sit
so
by the fire.
they're going to make their... Fulton walks over. They're going to make their perception checks to see if they can hear Fulton approaching. -8. Okay. Okay. So the half elf doesn't stir as you begin approaching. As you walk over to him, the dwarf, as you get over to where they are, rolls over, and goes, "Huh? Ah! We're gonna roll for initiative." Here we go.
Should have waited, shouldn't I, for you to do it? Oh well.
Hey, all pretty. You're eager. You want to get in there. You get my initiative tracker up. We'll see how we're doing. But you've taken one of them down. Without making a sound.
Clockwork. I've now only got 75 arrows, guys. Just in case
Oh,
you're-
no.
man.
Yeah.
We need to get to Yanderhoff's stat.
Soon, I don't know how I'm going to live.
Yeah.
Maybe we could build a bridge to Yanderhof out of the arrows that I've got.
All right. What we got? Caragor.
8.
Caragor comes in with an 8. What do we got? Velda, are you participating?
Well, I might as well do the initiative check because I'm kind of involved in the fight anyway. 19.
19.
Rather annoyingly.
A reluctant 19 from Velda.
Gonna leap in there and...
Okay, Ed Johnson.
Ed got a 10.
Fulton.
19.
A 19. Fulton doing very good. And Shania.
11.
What about Philippe?
Philippe goes on your go.
Okay, fine. Just don't forget Philippe. Just that was just a Philippe reminder.
Don't forget Philippe.
I mean, that could be a T-shirt.
Another T-shirt, yeah.
Never forget Philippe.
So, Velda, I'm assuming if you don't do anything, just shout a warning.
What, have they not seen him wake up?
No, the dwarf has just yelled, and the half elf has just his eyes have shot open.
Yeah. I mean, if Velda probably just sort of stands and sort of backs away to the edge of the room. It's not a very big cave, is it?
It is not a very big cave. No.
So he just sort of keeps out of harm's way, keeps his eyes on the fight. But yeah, that's what he
does. Which means it is Fulton Battlestone's go.
So is the dwarf next to the half elf?
Yes, they're both next to each other.
So can I use, if I kill him, can I do cleave?
Yes.
Ooh.
He is not helpless though, so you can't coup de grace him. It is an attack.
Big talk. Got to make sure you kill him now.
Big rolls. Big rolls.
That is a 17.
A 17 will hit him on the floor.
It's big.
17 damage.
17 points of damage.
So just that he rolled a 12 on that damage dice. So
you kill the first dwarf.
Yes.
He wakes up, screams, and the axe just goes through his chest as he gets up. And you attempt to cleave into the half elf, who is just now rolling out of his bed.
That is 21.
21 hits. Roll damage on him.
13 damage.
13 damage. Jesus.
Fulton Battlestone.
Fulton Battle. You cleave straight through one of them and into the half elf, who coughs up blood and starts rolling away from you. He is the next one to act. So he he's got so few options.
Yeah, right.
He crawls back away from you to get out of your threatened area. It takes a 5 foot step out of your threatened area and stands up, grabbing his pole. He's got a grisam. James, you know how things are pronounced. Gisam. It's a spear with a hook on it. He picks that up. But that is his whole go. That is all he can do. If only he were in a game system where you could do 3 actions in a round.
I know, right?
That'd be great, wouldn't it?
That's all he gets to do.
That Gizam might as well be Jism now.
Shania, it's your go.
Well, Shania is going to use Sickening Entanglement on him.
Oh, wow.
So, Sickening Entanglement works like entanglement, except the plants are coated with an irritating sap that's painful and turns into an itching rash on the creature's skin.
Oh, my God.
So they must make a fortitude save or be sickened as long as it remains in the area for 1d4 rounds.
Okay, he gets 10 on his fortitude save, so I think that is a fail.
It is.
Yes, horrible. He's almost lost an arm from the swing of this axe. He staggers up, picks up his weapon, and then just poison ivy just crawls out of the ground and just entangles him, entwines him. He breaks out in a horrible rash and just starts screaming in pain.
So he can't move.
He can't move, and he's sickened.
Yeah.
Ed Johnson.
I'm just going to fire my crossbow. 17.
17, that hits.
Yep.
Good old Ed.
Yeah, it says 8.
8 points of damage.
Yeah.
Good work, Ed
Well done,
Johnson. All right, you put a crossbow bolt in him as he's screaming and wrapped up there. Caragor.
I come out of the shadows now, walking towards him, just firing arrows just straight into him.
Go for it.
17.
17 hits.
7 damage.
7 points of damage. He's still up.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Heck.
Jeez.
Slavers, he's doing all right. He's just being hit with a volley of things as he stands up. Blood's just pouring from his nose and down his mouth, but he is still just about standing. Velda.
Velda just goes and sits by the fire.
Okay. This is. That is. The fire is kind of close to where this is happening. So
yeah, I mean, but in terms of he's just away, like back against the wall, just sits down, somewhere else.
His eyes kind of dart to you as he's enwrapped there in this ivy, being shot to death. As you just kind of walk past him and sit down at the fire. He looks at you like you're Don Corleone, and you've called this hit.
Okay, so I'm going to revise that, Dan, because you might maybe look like a dickhead. I'm not going to walk past him if that involves the action. I just go to a far corner of the cave and sit down.
I apologise if I made it seem like you were unsympathetic to the plight of the slaver. Okay.
I mean, in terms of like, if people want to murder someone, you can murder them.
That's enough. We're good. We're in combat.
All right. So you don't do anything. Fulton.
I'm gonna kill him.
Here comes the
Sorry,
what?
and it's a natural 20.
Oh my god!
Hold on. Oh, it's not gonna be an. Hold on.
Check it.
You'd be surprised. His AC is pretty low right now.
Okay, so that is a 8, 9, 10, 11.
11, not quite.
Well, it's a hit anyway.
It's a hit, so do your damage.
7 points of damage.
7 points of damage. You come in and you finish the slaver off. So he just, literally, he takes a hit. He staggers to his feet, has a chance to look around for a moment. He gets enwrapped in horrible ivy, and then the rest of you just walk forward, shooting him in the chest as he stands there, and then Fulton walks over and just buries the axe in him and just hacks him down to the ground until he stops moving. You have dispatched all 3 of them within seconds. That's 2 rounds that happens.
And that's how you deal with slavers, boy.
That was good work. If Caragor nods at Fulton,
Fulton nods back.
Severe respect. I fucking see you, mate. Nice one. Right, before we loot these guys' stuff, there's the issue of the cargo. Now, what he said was truly our Shawanti, and they'll be feisty. If they've been captured by their own tribespeople and whatever and handed over to slavers, then they probably have heard this right now. They'll be desperate to leave, so we've got to be very careful when we're freeing them. They are fierce people. I don't know if they've been drugged or manacled or whatever they do to slavers, maybe. Anyway, we've got to be careful releasing them.
Yeah.
All right, good warning.
Okay, let's go and see what we got.
It's the right thing to do, though.
Aye. Oh, that, there's no doubt. Caragor just peeks under the canvas.
Okay, you pulls some of the canvas back to have a look. There are 4 Shawanti sat inside the wagon. You can see underneath the top hall, and it's a big cage, like a kind of circus would have for animals. And there are 4 Shawanti sitting there. So Shawanti are human, but they are huge. Each one of them is well over 6 feet tall and equally broad. They are powerful tribespeople. There are 2 women, 2 men. One of the women has greyish skin with kind of swirling markings on it. Not quite the same as Velda's. They have more of a sort of a bluish tinge, and they almost seem to move as she sits there.
Can I make a knowledge?
Knowledge local.
Knowledge local.
Identifying a humanoid.
Let's have a look. Oh, not great. 11.
11. She's definitely some kind of elemental kin. She's not a sylph.
Can Ed make it?
Yeah, if Ed's got a knowledge local.
Yeah.
New character. Still
smashing it.
24.
24. Ed's seen this before. She's an Undine, so she is she's descended from water elementals.
Okay.
So she is similar to what Velda is, but whereas his lineage is from the air, hers is from the water.
I regale this to the rest of the.
Okay. Caragor nods.
Yeah.
They kind of all look at you as.
Do they? I've got having spent a little bit of time around the Shuanti from a backstory. However, my languages are only Common and Orc. Can I speak to them? Or
have you got any points in linguistics?
I probably do not. I have got...
Ed has.
Yeah, and as has Shania.
So you could, those of you with linguistics can attempt to. You would have, if you haven't got any points in it, you would have communicated to them by sort of sign language and just kind of nod and just kind of Pidgin Common. Some Shuanti speak Common.
What language do they speak?
They speak something called Shuanti.
Right, okay.
Do you have any points in linguistics?
No. I address them in Common anyway. Hello there.
They look at you and then look past you to the bloodbath behind them. One of them nods. Ichea Ute.
Can I make a linguistics check to try and understand or sort of do that sort of thing?
I'll do the same if that's all right.
Okay.
And so will Ed.
17. Shuanti is a pretty hard language. So
15.
28.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Well
Ed
read.
Johnson.
Ed Johnson's the man, I tell you.
Ed Johnson is the only one who gets high enough and can communicate in a little bit of... He knows a little Shuanti and so can communicate with them a little bit. The lead Shuanti kind of looks at you and then looks at the body. You understand that he said, "Do good, friend."
Friend, we want to set you free.
Then set free.
Now, before we do that, you can see that we're a friend. And we don't want to have any trouble here. Is that all right?
He looks around all and then looks at Karagor. Says, "Orc."
Yeah?
Friend.
Friend, help me.
Karagor just goes and pulls one of his arrows out the slaver.
Who are you?
Ed. Ed, you?
Yes, son.
I turn around to the Danger Club and say, "Now I've spoken to this man. We don't speak similar. Like, I don't speak a lot of the language, but we're friends. Now I'm gonna be honest. He's got a problem with you. Now I don't know you as Karagor. I know you as something else, and I need to check that before I say it.
Oh.
If you remember, you didn't give me.
No, you didn't.
Only Fulton gave me his name, and you haven't said this. I've been listening out for it. Right. So, can youth believe it was your name?
Oh no!
God, I'm such a dick.
Now, can youth, I'm going to be honest. He pointed to you, and he said, "Orc. Is he your friend?"
I mean...
So we need to make sure...
The Shuanti, the land's border belks and all they do is fight orcs.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a Horrok, but...
But I've said you're a friend. Now, can we open this cage up?
That's cool. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take a few steps back.
Yeah, make it clear.
Yeah. I'll put my... I'll holster all my weapons and
Put your weapons away and hold your hands up. Yeah.
It's just a bit of a shame. Last time I saw...
we should all put our weapons.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right. Yeah.
Stay alert.
Stay alert, yeah.
Just the last time I encountered these people, they're ferocious. That's all. That's what I'm saying.
But I think we should open this cage up pretty quick because I've gained their trust.
Just
good. Okay.
Vil just goes and quietly picks up the slaver's weapons and like stacks them in the corner, like behind Karagor or something like that. Just says they're not lying on the floor.
So I turn around. We set you free, and I've made sure. How can I say this really simply? Orc says he's a friend to you.
I wave.
He looks to the others and they nod to him and he turns and nods to you.
We start opening the cage.
Okay, you find a key on the slaver and unlock the cage and open it. The Shuanti step down from it. So the one who is the Undying woman, she is still Shuanti as well. So she has elemental blood, but the rest of her is Shuanti. So she's as huge as they are. So they step down from the cage and stop and kind of look around each of you. The Undying walks towards Velda and looks at him for a moment. And then looks him up and down, and then just goes, and
That's to you.
They turn and make their way to the cave entrance. One of them stops, picks up the body of the half elf, lifts it for a moment, and then just slams it against the wall.
Not M, right?
Not M. Oh no!
Hate MC.
Now she's got magic and stuff, hasn't she? Really, like this.
Well, you don't
Possibly.
know.
No, I was just thinking out loud. No, carry on, Dan. Sorry, my mistake.
Having done that, he drops the body to the ground, and they walk to the main entrance of the cave, out into the rain.
Just before they do, are any of the weapons special that the slavers had?
Looking at them, there's some decently made ones. None of that you get noted. None of them are magical.
None of them magical. I just sort of call, like make a noise, and then just point at the slavers' weapons and point at them.
One of them looks over, walks over, takes up they take up the weapons that were left and kind of look at them slightly disapprovingly, but nod, and then walk back to the exit. As they get to the entrance, Yessen, the one that you've spoken to, stops under the rain. It's still pouring with rain outside. He just stops, looks back at all of you, and then just pounds his chest twice and nods, and then turns and walks out into the rain with the others.
Ed, before they go.
Yeah.
Tell him it was a danger club.
Yes.
He turns back.
I point to all of us. Danger club.
He nods, says, Danger club. And turns and walks back off into the rain.
Yeah. There's 4 more subscribers there.
Like and subscribe, Joanty.
Yeah.
And with that, you bed down for the night. You pack up the rest of their kit. I'll give you a list of what you get. There's not a lot of really exciting stuff, but you get a few bits and bobs from them. You get to eat the rest. You get to eat the rest of their venison. So
Sweet.
Which is lovely.
that's pretty good. And if you would like it, you have a covered wagon that you can hitch up to some of the horses.
Yeah.
So you don't have to get rained on the next day.
Yeah.
Danger wagon.
Something to carry M as well.
Yeah. Much less. We'd have to keep
Just
treading
not
by his
forget
toes
him,
now.
all right? Just don't forget him.
And the next day, with your newfound things, you make your way back out. The rain is starting to ease off to a light drizzle. So first of all, go ahead and make your medicine check, your heal check.
Do the heal check.
DC 12 heal check. First of all on Fulton.
Okay.
It's DC 12, so if you roll a 12 on the die, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
and then
20.
roll one for yourself.
And that's 22.
All right, so both of you get a +4 to your fortitude save for today. So go ahead and make your saves. Oh no!
I should have used a different dice because that already gave me two good rolls. But anyway, okay, what have I got? Let's see. Hold on.
29 for
29.
Shit.
Feeling tough.
Can we use Pathfinder 2nd Edition where if you critically success something, it's over
We can, but the disease rolls in for 2nd edition are horrific.
Damn it.
It's even more dangerous.
Disease is a nasty, nasty thing.
Yeah.
It's never good to get a disease. I know it's a ridiculous statement, but they're...
So, Fulton, you have made... So, mark down you have 1 successful save, because that will come into effect tomorrow. It means you take no more dexterity damage, and it means you can talk for today. I'm sorry, everyone.
Yay.
Shania Rain?
Shania got 12.
A total of 12. It is DC 12. Thanks to the attention and care that you gave to each other at the start of the day, that you've bound the wounds and cleaned them, it is just a success. So you also take no dexterity damage and have 1 successful save. And with that, you get into your wagon and you make your way down the ravine and carry on, and in the distance you start to see more traffic. You start to see more wagons and more horses as you join the large numbers of people on their way into Yanderhof. And that's where we leave it for tonight. Yay! See you next week, everyone. Good job.
Fucking Fulton Caragol classic that was. That was brilliant.
Good job, Rob. The whole episode of not being able to talk.
ever wonder when Spider-Man goes to the bathroom if the toilet paper sticks to his fingers?
Do you ever wonder why Superman wears his underwear outside of his pants?
My name is Imran.
My name is Anthony.
He's the Jock.
And he's the Nerd.
And we're your hosts for the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we sometimes try to attempt to answer these questions.
Boom.
JockandNerd.com. Jock and Nerd.